Kalash, we don't have a sound.
Tables made of rows and columns. And in this video,
Are we good now?
we are going to talk about
Yeah, you're fine.
You guys can hear the sound.
and in this video, we are going to talk about what is my
Yes.
Okay, let's watch this video.
name is Victoria, and in this video, we are going to talk about what is my SQL. Let's go. MySQL is the most popular open-source relational database management system, or in short, RDBMC, with a client-server model. MySQL, like other relational databases, stores data in tables made of rows and columns. Structured Query Language, or SQL, allows users to construct, manage, control, and query data. It stores and retrieves data in a broad range of popular apps, websites, and services as part of widely used LAMP technology. MySQL runs on almost every platform, including Linux, Unix, and Windows. Although it may be used for a variety of purposes, MySQL is most commonly linked with the web applications and online publishing. MySQL is based on a client-server model. MySQL Core is the MySQL server, which processes all databases operations or commands. MySQL Server is available as a standalone software for usage in the client-server networked environment, as well as a library that may be integrated or linked into other applications. This right here explains the basic client-server structure. One or more devices or clients connect to a server through a specific network. As long as both ends understand the command, any client may make a request through the graphical user interface, or in short GUI, on their screens, and the server will produce the necessary response. So the basic processes that occur in MySQL environment are: MySQL creates a database for storing and manipulating data, defining the relationship of each table. Clients can make requests by typing specific SQL statements on MySQL. The server application will respond with the requested information, and it will appear on the client side. A client may use any MySQL GUI. However, it is important to make sure that your GUI is lightweight and user-friendly in order to make your data management operations faster and easier. Some of the most popular MySQL GUIs are MySQL Workbench, SQL Pro, DB Visualizer, and the Navigate DB Admin tool. And the most obvious go-to for web database management, including WordPress site, is PHPMyAdmin. So why is MySQL so popular and used by many major tech giants? Here are the reasons. Flexible and easy to use. You can edit the source code to match your own needs, and you don't have to pay anything for this level of freedom, which includes the ability to upgrade to the advanced commercial version. It is relatively simple to learn and use, so the installation process should take no more than 30 minutes. High performance. MySQL is supported by a broad range of cluster servers and the data replication configurations that ensure uninterrupted uptime even if there is a failure. Whether you're storing massive amounts of significant e-commerce data or doing heavy business intelligence tasks, MySQL can help you out easy and quickly. An industry standard. Because industries have been using MySQL for years and it has been around for nearly 3 decades, there are plenty of resources for skilled developers. MySQL is also well known for its reliability as a database administrator, thanks to a vast community of programmers who have thoroughly tested the code. Secure. This is always an important consideration for businesses as they need to protect sensitive data and defend against cyber attacks. With its access privilege system and user account management, MySQL sets the security bar high. To ensure data integrity, MySQL provides encryption via the Secure Sockets Layer protocol, data masking, authentication plugins, and other levels of security. And here we are. Now you know what MySQL is and what great benefits it has. If you have any feedback or questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you next time.
Okay. Let me start the share my screen. It's cool. Great. Okay. Before jumping into the MySQL work area, that how we're gonna create tables, how we will set our databases, what is data types, what is RDBMS, a relational database management system. These concepts are very important and vital for you people, that before creating these schemas and scenarios, you have to first understand that what are these, why we are using them. These are very important. So anything, any table or any database, if you're creating, it is synonym is schema. What we call it schema. Database means schema, a structure, a table-wise structure when we want to create it. So next, let's consider a scenario. Our scenario will be, we have a web application. A web application consists of two things. First is a UI, user interface. Like we can say the Instagram login page or Instagram page we can take. This Instagram page UI consists of our name. Like suppose it has a UI like this. Here's my pen. Let me take it. This consists of a screen like this. Our photo will be appear right here. Here will be some little bit information about us. It's not working. Let's take one another thing. Here will be our profile picture. Here will be information about us. Here will be some other details inside. UI of the Instagram account. So this concept below here, right below here, is called UI. UI means user interface. User interface of what? User interface of Instagram. User interface. Face of what? Instagram. Now, this user interface is connected with some sort of database or main server, which is located in some particular region. This main server, we can say that the duty of this server is to only keep track or keep the records of the login or user information of who? User information of the clients or the end user of the Instagram. Inside this server, sorry guys, wait a second. Yeah, now it's fine. Inside this server, we have different particular section, like we have configure our database. That will be our MySQL database section. We configure some folders for storing the user image. We configure some other security policies folders and right here. So we don't need to do anything with them. We just need, first of all, with the records of database, that we want to explain that how this data is fetched and bring from server to us, and they display inside in front page of our Instagram account. What is this database consist of, how it works? We will follow the sequence. So right here, if we bring it out, the database shape will be always like this. If you see anything like this, you can name it as a database. Now, this user information, which is stored inside the database, server plus databases called backend. This backend stands for what? It consists of user business logic and the amount of information which is provided by who? By the user. And this section is called front end. Front end means anything you can see on the screen. For example, now you can see my screen that I'm drawing something. This is called front end. This is the UI of my screen. This is UI of the application, which you can see. How it is beautiful, it depends on the front end developer. Now, the next question is that how we gonna display these sort of information inside our UI user interface. This information actually comes from where? This information comes from the server, and inside server we have our databases, which is configured. At the time of registration, when we insert information, stored information inside the database, again, when we clicking on our activities on our profile button, the request will be generated to the server. The request will goes on to where? To server, that with this specification account number and name, a user want to see his or her the account information. Now the task of the server inside a backend, we wrote a logic. We write a logic through codes. This is business logic that you're gonna study whenever we start the Java. They will check the condition that, okay, this username request, do I have this username inside my database store? Yes, we have. So the duty of the server is to get the data from where? To get the data from database, bring it to server, put it, mask it, and put it inside some encrypted key or version, or we can say they will put it in a box and wrap it, mask it, that nobody can see it except the user which requests this information, because inside that it might be password, username, some account credential, bank account credential. So that's why server mask it and send back it to where? To the UI page which the user requested. So again, the user will be able to see their account information which is on the Instagram. This was the normal flow which was happening between what? Between Instagram user page and a database. This was a slightly connection. Okay, now the question is here that how they manage these databases. These are what? These are a software at the first day I discussed, which has the ability to manage our massive amount of information in a format of table and row, in a format of rows and columns, which we wrap it up in a table shape. So who's someone who control this table, who make management of this table, is called a DBMS developer or DBMS administration. Now inside DBMS, we have one another called one another concept that is called RDBMS. You know that what is this DBMS? This DBMS is called database management system. This is a some particular software which manages the data inside the table. But inside DBMS, we have one another concept. Inside DBMS, we have one another concept that is RDBMS. Why this pad is not working? Let me check it. Let me take a brush with it. Okay. This RDBMS concept, RDBMS, RDBMS stands for a Relational Database Management System. Basically, why are we using this concept, this Relational Database Management System? I will take a scenario, an example. Before relational database management system concept were explained, at that time, people were facing so many troubles that storing all the amount of information inside a single table, that's totally a risk, because once if the database crash or the table crash, or you might lost your table or someone get deleted, so all the amount of information will be deleted. So the problem arises from here that once everything data erases, so nobody can access their username password. For that reason, they make a relational database management system. The duty of the relational database management system is that they do it. Let me take Microsoft Whiteboard as well with us. They do it. They store every information, they divide every piece of information and store it into a different tables. Means they will make 3 to 4 table for keeping the records of a user. Means for the username and password, they keep one table. For their photos, for their name, for their email, they will keep another table. And for their payment method and for card or something which is related to a bank account, they will keep what? They will keep only one another table, which we have 3 table consistently right here. So let me take a pen. Okay, that's cool. Okay, now the question is here that if you keep everything inside one table and something happens, some electricity failure or some malware attack happened on our system, on our database, if you store everything inside one table, and if someone delete this, erase it, so your all information will be what? Will be lost. Now here is the RDBMS comes into the picture. RDBMS. It will save you from what? From these sorts of attack. It will do what? It will do means, suppose I'm registering myself inside some bank account, Instagram page, Facebook page, anything we can take. So they will do what? Facebook do what? For storing our name, they create one table. One table will be only specifically for all 3 billion users of Facebook. They only store what? They only store the name for us and our password. Username and our password. They make one another table which they store our what? Our email, our phone number, date of birth, or unique ID, which is generated by the Facebook, and they create one another table named, we can say, they only store our card payment details that most of the time many people are buying through Facebook marketplace, or they want to purchase something, so they have to pay, and most of them store their card information inside Facebook. So they do what? They store our card information. Now, why they are not storing all of them inside one table? If you think it will be more convenient way and it will be more easy for us, for a developer, but this way is totally wrong if we store everything inside one table. So they do what instead? They store it in a different table. Now these different table, we have one unique ID that we do what? We connect each one of them with one another. Like suppose I connect first row of this column with that column, and I connect second row, or we can say first row of the second table with the first row of the third table. They are now in some kind of chain, we can say. They are in a chain. So if anything happened to this table, we have all the information of this user. We don't need to worry about that. And there are some policies, some restriction that if we store the tables, if we store the data inside a relational database management system, means on the concept, on the basis of the concept of what? Relational database. If you want to delete this table, you can delete it unless and until you delete this one and this one. After that, you are able to delete this one. Now, the concept here is that if someone wants to delete this table, so he needs to delete all of the table which is connect with this table. After that, he can delete, and nobody can do it because these table will be stored in some other folder structure and server. This will be in one another folder structure and server, and this will be in one another folder structure inside a server. Now, this concept is called RDB, means Relational Database Management System. This is basically a logic theory, or we can say that whenever we move ahead in SQL, so there will be a topics called join, inner join, outer join, left outer join. We will be studying these concepts. So in that concept, the Relational Database Management System concept will be applied. Till this point, do we have any questions? Anything which is confusing for you? Okay, I must say no question. What about others? Okay, let me take the screenshot of this. Let me open the Snappy tool. Let me copy it. I will make a, we can say it running note as well. I will open the Word software. So that we can convert it to PDF as well, and we keep the record of day to day. So let me paste it right here. This is great. Okay, I'll do what? Then screen shots. The screenshots. Yeah, let me bring it down And let me take the screenshot of the print as well. Where is my snappy tool?
So these explanations will be, very good and useful in terms of whenever you are looking into anything. These explanations and these screenshots will help you guys understand things pretty quickly. So in case, since Furqan will be busy with the instructions, in case he forgets sometime, please do remind him.
Yeah, this is totally beautiful. Whenever you look into the screenshots, you will definitely understand that what we did cover in this day. So this will be a beautiful concept, means it will be a beautiful revision for you whenever you see these screenshots. Okay, Nasib says clear, thanks, and Fahim also says clear. Okay, great. Now let me save it. I'll save it on desktop. Browse it. Save right there. Okay. Now till this point, we are good to go. We don't need to worry about other things. So now let me close this Word version. It's not really important for us. Okay, now we will do what? Now we will jump into the SQL concept. Now for managing those informations, for managing RDBMS, sorry, let me take eraser. Now for managing RD BMS, we have one language called SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. The duty of the SQL is that he will go directly talk with the RDBMS system or with that they have some sort of database management system, and they will fetch those information which is stored inside that RDBMS. Okay, now why we need SQL for that? Because RDBMS, we say that it's a software. Now this software itself have inside their software, we have some local server that we did installed on the installation day. It has developer configuration scenario as well. It has shell inside that. Everything, every setup that we need, we have inside this RDBMS or DBMS that is configured. We can say it's all in one software. We can say that whenever we installed MySQL Workbench or some other things like a XAMPP server or anything, this will make our computer a local server for our users. This will make a computer a local server for us, these softwares that we can do what we can do the day-to-day daily task of a database administration inside our computer. But we are right now, we are not dealing with big amount of information, just we are dealing with what? We are dealing with the little informations, like we can say that inside one table we will have 1,000 records, not more than that. or we have 3 to 5 tables. We don't need 1,000 tables. We don't need a billions of record inside our RDBMS software. Now, what is this SQL? Why we use SQL for that? SQL is basically a translator, we can say, between who? SQL is a translator. Let me upper it slightly. SQL is a translator. You know, this person which I'm drawing, this is SQL. He's translator between me, the end user, and between the local storage, which has stored my data inside that. And here I have different types of data. So whenever I run a SQL query, the basically query means that whatever I request, this request is called inside database query. So whenever anything I ask from SQL, the SQL duty is to analyze my query. They do what? They do analysis my query, and after that, according to my query, the search will be generated and goes on and search for a particular query inside my local storage. Once they found, this will fetched by who? By the SQL again, and resubmit it or hand over to who? To me. This is the normal process and normal flow inside the RDBMS software that SQL do for us. Hope the questions are clear. Do you have a question till this point? Guys, do we have a question?
I have a question. So you said that SQL,
Yeah.
it will be a big part of what we do, correct? So you say that it will be interacting with SQL and this will be the normal pattern on our daily basis. How about non-relational database?
Yeah. A relational database and DBMS, database management system, doesn't have any difference. I already said that inside DBMS, previously we stored only all of the records inside one table. Whenever RDBMS comes into the picture, they make those information divided into multiple tables. That was all about this. Inside SQL, your question is that how we gonna deal with RDBMS? Am I right? How we will use SQL and whenever we are using RDBMS concepts. So inside SQL, we have a bunch of topics. And those topics are, whenever we reach to RDBMS, we will cover joins inside SQL. Joins is nothing but concept of RDBMS inside SQL. Hope your question is clear.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Anyways, let's see. Did you install it? Okay. Now let me take the screenshot of this. I'll open my Snappy. We'll take a new screenshot of it. Let me copy this. We will paste it right here. Guys, this was all about RDBMS that we're gonna study SQL inside RDBMS. Now, next point is that, let's say, right now, we will be studying that Inside our DBMS or DBMS, we can say. Now inside DBMS, we have concepts DBMS. We have concepts of DDL, we have one another concept called DCL, we have one another concept called DML, and we have one another concept called TCL. Why we use these concepts? What is the full form of these concepts? Pause it here, we will study. DDL stands for data definition. Data definition language. What does it do? Basically, anything which relates to creation of the schema, which relates to creation of the database, or we want to do some sort of work, some sort of operation on our databases. It deals with that. Let me take this pen. Anything which deals with DB, I will use short form DB, operations. Operation, I will use OP for that. Let me circle it. We have commands for that. Those commands are create, as might be many of you know what is create. Create inside, if you study database or SQL, create is the command which we will create table, database, anything we want. We have one another command, alter. Alter is used when we do any kind of modification inside our tables. Like I wanna change the name of my database, so I have to use alter table. I wanna, suppose for example, assuming I wanna change, I create a table named username 01. So later on, I want to convert this username 01. I want to remove the 01 from it. So I will do what? I will use the alter command. With the help of alter command, I will do these changes. Next command will be drop. Why we use drop command in here? Drop is I will clear this command whenever we start databases. That drop is used for removing the class schema, or if anything created before, and if it is junk file with the same name which I creating. Suppose I'm creating a database or a table name. Suppose take a table name. I'm creating a table name of user information, but I don't know, I don't have awareness about that. I have already user information created, which is a junk file. So if I use first drop user information semicolon, after that I use my other syntax like create a table for me, it will do what? First of all, it will goes into the database, it will search it if I use user information which is stored inside here, and if it is a junk file, so will it do what? It will delete it for us, and it will create a new user information table for us. Or if you use it with database, it will also work like that. Okay, next command will be truncate. Truncate command, we're gonna study that. What is the difference? I will show you an example whenever we start with this SQL scripting or SQL syntax. We have rename. And we will have comment. These commands people are using inside DDL. Whenever someone asks you that which commands we were going to use in DDL, so DDL deals with what? Data definition language. As from its name, it is obvious that it defines the structure, the name, the data which we're gonna store. These things will be only done with what commands? With the help of DDL commands. Next, we have what? We have DCL. DCL stands for data control language. Now, DCL has also commands. This DCL's command are grant, and next is revoke. Basically, these commands are used inside whenever we face any damages inside our database, or whenever we want to do what? We want to take a backup, and inside a backup, we face a failure. So this grant and revoke will help us right there. But we gonna not study. Our aim is in this course that we will study DDL, DML. We will not go with DCL and TCL because these two belongs to who? Belongs to the admin, database administration. So we are not working with that. We will only study DML and DDL. So next concept. And let me take a blue pen. Great. Next concept is DML. DML stands for data manipulation language. Let me take it right here. Data manipulation language. What it does, it will deals with all those information which we want to do on our store table. Like suppose we want to view data which is stored inside our user information table. So how we will do? We will do that with the help of select command. We have one command, select name select, which do all the view works for us. Next, we have what? We have insert command. Suppose you want to store something inside your table. You have to use the what? You have to use the insert command. Insert command is used for what? For storing purpose. Next command that we will study is update command. This command is, suppose when you insert something inside your table and you think that, oh, I spelled that name wrong, I entered that name wrong, there is a spell mistake inside the name of that person. So now here's the update command reached and rescue you, and you can do what? You can do editing with the help of what? Editing with the help of update command. Next, we have delete. Delete do what? if suppose you store a wrong information inside a table, so you want to delete all that information which is inside one row, so you will use delete command for that. Next, we have merge command. Merging basically used with what? With development team and admin section most. We don't use it that much, but we gonna cover it. We will see that what does it merge do and how we will do it. Okay, next we have call. This also will be not that much important for us, but we will gonna explain it. Next, we have log table. You know, these commands are associated with the what? With that database or RDBMS itself inside the SQL. These commands we will be studying inside DML, that is for data manipulation language. But at the last we have what? We have TCL. TCL stands for what? TCL stands for transaction. Sorry. Transaction control language. This section only deals whenever you go to ATM and you insert your card and the machine will read your card and you're doing what? You're withdrawing money. So at that time, an SQL query will fire and the request will send to bank that this user needs that much money. The server will respond, and whatever money you cash out from the ATM machine, that section will minus the amount of money which you withdraw from the ATM machine from your account. So in this section, we have what? We have commands of commit, and we have rollback. These commands are for that purpose, and also it helps in getting the backups and other things that we want to do. So suppose, for example, this transaction control and this DCL data control language, we gonna not study in this course. These are only for admin purposes. Do we have any question till this point? Let me check the chat box. Okay. I couldn't install it too. I was absent yesterday. There was okay. Okay, no worries at all. At the end, we will check. Let me take the snapshot of this first. Let me put it right here. Rachel. No, we pasted in a wrong section. We have to paste it right here. That's good. That was all about the commands that we will be studying in this course, that we're gonna only deal with what? DML and DDL in this course. That much is more enough for you people. Now let's check the chat box. So far clear. Okay, Ahmed. Great. Our next concept will be, we will be dealing with the creation of what? Creation of the databases inside our MySQL workbench, which we installed yesterday. Now, all of you, I request all of you to just go open your MySQL workbench and do the practice parallelly with me. Is that fine, Masood, right now? Because it was only in the Word file. Okay. Guys, open your MySQL workbench. I will give you 5-minute break for that. Just take a 5-minute break. I will stop the recording for 5 minutes. Now, before jumping into these concepts, we have some other terminologies with the SQL tables and database that we need to understand that first. What are these? Let's get it. Okay, let me take one color. Let me take a color of that. Okay. We have one terminology inside the table that is called what? That is called data type. What does this data type mean? Data type is referred to the type of data that actually you're storing what? You're storing text, you're storing number, you're storing characters with number. What do you want to store? This data types refer to that. Now it has a variety of functions, data type inside database. Data type of DB. Or we can say data type of SQL. Particularly if we specify it inside the bracket, we can take SQL. Now these data types are, if you take number, digit plus what? Plus a character means A, B, C. Suppose you want to store like this. I can say that Ahmad 01. If you want to store something inside your database like this, so you need to take the data type of worker. We have one specific data type for that. Its name is worker. Next, if you are storing only text, you're storing only text record. So suppose, for example, I want to store X, Y, Z, and size is fixed. You can go with what? You can go with text data type. Next, if you want to store something like how we can say, if you want to store digit only, like 1, 10, or 20 something you want to store, you need to use what? You need to use AND for that. Now, why we are using this data type concept right here? Because anything, let me take an example. What is data type first? Data types is basically a container. It's a container that holds the value for us. Inside a computer memory or RAM, whenever you want to store something, you need to keep that in RAM or storage. And this RAM and storage consists of what? Consists of cells. Small units and cell. These small unit and cell are empty. Like suppose this section is empty. Now, if you want to assign something to this cell, First of all, you need to name that cell. I will give the name of, for example, A for that cell. This will be the name of that cell. Okay, I assigned the A name to that cell. Next, I want to store something inside that cell. So if I want to store something, like suppose I will store 100 value inside this cell. Now, for storing 100 value inside that cell, I need to specify it is typed to the memory, because computer don't understand that what is this 100 stands for, why we use that 100. Now, for specifying this cell type, that what kind of value we will want to store inside this cell, so we need to add int data type, that it is type is int, and we store only what? We stored only 100 value inside that cell. Now data types refer to that before inserting, we have to create the structure of our table inside that database. The structure of the table will be like this for us. Okay, I have a name section, I have a phone number section, I have an email section, I have an address section, and I have a comment section, any notes and something I want to add. So now inside name section, name is combination of, we can say it will be combination of character or combination of digit as well if we want to add. So for that, we have to use what type of database? For that data type, we have to use worker. Most of the people pronounce it varchar, but it's worker. Next, for phone number, it is digit. What kind of data type we need to add? For that, we have to add int, but most of the time int is not visible for that section. Why? Because with the digits, if you consider, most of the time people are adding plus symbols as well. For that reason, we need to do it. Plus is a character according to databases. So for that, you need to take what? You need to take worker for that. Okay, for next we have email section. Email as well, character plus digit. For that, you need to also take what? Worker as well. Next column, next section, you have what? You have, suppose you're storing address. Address as well keeps the digits. So for that, you need to add data type of worker for that. And last, we have comment or note. For that, you can use only text data type. This will be the format of the table inside the database will be like this, that before inserting, before adding something into your rows, columns, or cells, you need to specify that cell, that what kind of value I am storing inside this cell. I need to specify that cell type before inserting values inside that. Okay, till this point, everything is clear for you guys? Do you have any question till this point?
Sir, I had a question. Is this just like the format, right?
Yeah.
In Excel, we use like a column and we put a format just for digits. So we can, if you type like ABC, will not support. So if you want to put like alphanumeric, you have to change the format of that column, put alphanumeric. Is this the same thing?
Yeah, let me clear it in this way. Suppose, for example, you can store anything. Suppose I'm giving text to that section, to that cell, text data type, but I'm storing what? I'm storing number. Physically, it will store for you, but logically, this is wrong. Physically, it will store it. It will not consider it as a what? As a digit. It will consider it as a text, because we specified this section for the text purpose only. We are assigning this data type for what? for logical reasons that we are giving. Suppose, for example, we have one ground right here. Inside that ground, we will divide the nations that, okay, Chinese people will stand right here, American will stand here, and Afghans will stand here. Suppose if half of the Afghan stands in Chinese section and half of the Chinese stands in Afghan section, whether it will work? Yeah, definitely, for sure it will work. But logically it's wrong, because the rules are set from the first that Afghan will stand in this section, American will stand in this section, and Chinese will stand this section. But an Afghan can go and stand right here. Nobody can tell them that, hey, get out from our side, because all of us at the end are human. But whenever we set some rules and laws that we have to follow, so we need to follow that. If we break that, so it will not called a rule or something. That basically we can say we didn't follow the rule of the ground. The rule of the ground is that Afghan stand here, American stand here, Chinese stand here. If someone breaks the rule, so it will not work at all. Now hope your question is clear. Is that clear, Mr.?
Yes, sir, it's clear. Yeah, I was just putting my analogy. That's all. It was clear.
Totally
Yeah.
fine. It was a beautiful example. It was a beautiful question that you asked. Totally.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Till this point, we understand what is data type, how we will use this data type. So we study MySQL concept, we study DDL, DCL, DML, TCL, sorry. We did cover what? We did cover how the web application would interact with each other with the database. We study DBMS, RDBMS, relational database management system. You know, these concepts we did cover today. Just take this note as a junk file. Tomorrow, I will provide notes and specific notes, and we have a lots of data types inside database that we gonna practice it inside our MySQL workbench at the time of creation of the tables. We gonna study these concepts tomorrow, inshallah. So as of now, we are done. So I will take the screenshot for you people. Let me take a new screenshot. And put it inside a Word file. So it will remind you today's lecture that we did cover these concepts today. I'll put it inside that. I'll save it and I will share this file inside our Google Classroom. No worries at all. Okay, till this point, do we have any questions? Okay, it is clear. Someone says it's clear. Okay, we don't have any question. Let me stop the recording.